$22 million. Think about that number, $22 million. That's what the New York Yankees decided to throw away when they released one of their stars. But the million-dollar question is, why? Why would one of the richest and most powerful teams in sports do something so drastic in the middle of a chaotic season? The answer is much more complicated than it appears, and reveals an internal crisis that goes far beyond a single player. Stick with me until the end, because DJ LeMahieu's release is just the first domino falling in the Bronx. What I'm about to reveal about the devastating injury that shook the team and the rise of an unexpected hero will change how you see the Yankees' future. And look, if you're like me, a baseball fanatic who loves real, straight-to-the-point analysis, do me a favor right now. Smash that like button to support the channel, and most importantly, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the stories I'll share in the next videos, you simply can't afford to miss. Trust me. Now, let's cut to the chase. DJ LeMahieu, nicknamed The Machine for a reason. The guy was a two-time batting champion, a three-time All-Star, a monster at the plate who seemed unstoppable. But that machine broke down. The numbers don't lie. Since 2023, his performance has plummeted. But the real issue wasn't just offense, it was defense. A series of injuries to his foot, hip, and calf stripped away his agility, triggering a disastrous domino effect. Picture this. To keep LeMahieu at second base, the Yankees took one of their most athletic players, Jazz Chisholm Jr., and moved him to third base. Guess how that worked out? A disaster. Chisholm, with a sore shoulder, began making bizarre throwing errors, sinking the team's defense. Management saw this and said, "Enough." In a swift move, manager Aaron Boone pulled LeMahieu from the starting lineup on Tuesday and moved Chisholm back to second base. By Wednesday, LeMahieu was officially cut. Over. Game over. This wasn't just swapping players. It was a declaration of war against mediocrity. The front office, led by Brian Cashman, essentially said, "We'd rather pay him $22 million to stay home than continue fielding a dysfunctional team." It's a brutal but pragmatic philosophy. The past and trophies don't matter anymore. Winning now is all that counts. But every major decision in New York comes with some gossip, and this one was no different. A rumor surfaced claiming that Captain Aaron Judge protested last year to block LeMahieu's release. Could that cause division in the locker room? Not so fast. When asked about this, Judge delivered one of the smartest, most calculated responses I've ever seen. "I'm a player. I don't make these decisions. That's the front office's job. If they're listening to players, maybe we should get paid more to do their job too." Boom! In one sentence, he did three things: squashed the rumor, ended the gossip, and reaffirmed who's in charge. It was a masterstroke from a true captain who stabilized the ship amid the storm. So LeMahieu's exit was expensive and risky, but ultimately necessary to fix a severe problem. Yet, as the Yankees plugged one hole, another, much bigger one was about to explode. They fixed their defensive problem, right? They sacrificed $22 million and the team appeared back on track. For a moment, fans breathed a sigh of relief. But in sports, and especially in New York, calm is only the prelude to a storm. As the dust from LeMahieu's departure settled, a ticking time bomb was silently exploding in the Yankees' medical department. And that explosion has a name: Clarke Schmidt. And what happened to him isn't just bad news, it's catastrophic. Let's grasp the scale of this disaster. Clarke Schmidt, the pitcher having the best season of his career, is out. And not just for a few weeks. He needs a second Tommy John surgery, the most feared procedure for a pitcher. That means his 2025 season is over, and he'll likely miss most of 2026 too. And the timing couldn't be crueler. Schmidt wasn't just another guy in the rotation, he was the guy. Manager Aaron Boone said it loud and clear. He's become a very, very good pitcher in this league. He was on fire, even pitching 7 no-hit innings against Baltimore shortly before the injury. But here's the real gut punch. The Yankees were already without their ace, Garrett Cole, also sidelined this season by the same surgery. Schmidt was the pillar holding down the fort. He was Plan B that became Plan A. And now, there is no plan. The Yankees' rotation, already patched together, is in ruins. The situation is so desperate that, as an emergency measure, they rushed a 24-year-old rookie from AAA, Cam Schlittler, to make his major league debut. It's a gamble, a desperate measure, and this changes everything. The conversation in New York isn't about if the Yankees will make a trade anymore. Now it's who they'll manage to bring in. Schmidt's injury set off a flashing red alarm in Brian Cashman's office. Acquiring an elite starting pitcher before the July 31st trade deadline has gone from luxury to a matter of survival. Without another strong arm, the Yankees' championship hopes might have been buried, along with Clark Schmidt's elbow. With the team in shambles off the field, the big question was, how would they respond on it? The answer was an emotional roller coaster that defined the season, and that's exactly what I'm about to show you now. The steep decline and miraculous recovery that kept the Yankees alive. Stick around, and if you haven't smashed the like button yet, now's your chance. It really helps the channel continue bringing you these detailed breakdowns. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this saga. All right, chaos had taken over behind the scenes. A star was released, the best pitcher was sidelined. Normally, a team in these circumstances crumbles, turns to dust, and for a moment, it seemed the Yankees were headed exactly that way. They hit rock bottom, a brutal stretch of 6 straight losses. The team that once led the division spiraled, losing 16 of 22 games. Panic filled the air. The season was slipping away. But that, my friends, is exactly when baseball magic happens. The game was against their city rival, the New York Mets. Losing would mean being swept at home, a complete humiliation. It was do or die for the team's morale. And who steps up in moments like this? You guessed it, the captain, Aaron Judge. With the team desperately needing a hero, he launches a rocket into the stands, his 33rd home run of the season, and electrifies the stadium. The offense comes back to life, but the real turning point, the moment that defined this comeback, didn't come from the bat. It came from defense. 7th inning, a tight game. The opponent had a chance to tie. A short, tricky ball dropping fast, a play with just a 30% chance of completion. Left fielder Cody Bellinger sprints like crazy, dives and makes a highlight reel catch right at the tip of his glove. But he doesn't stop there. From the ground, he gets up and fires a nearly 90-mile missile to first base, doubling off the runner and completing a game-saving double play. That play was like an electric shock to the team's heart. It was the second of 3 double plays the defense executed in 3 consecutive innings. Suddenly, the team that couldn't get anything right couldn't do anything wrong. That victory was no fluke. It marked the start of a resurrection. Riding this momentum, they steamrolled the Seattle Mariners, sweeping the series, capped by a dramatic win in the 10th inning. In just a matter of days, the Yankees went from hell to heaven. And this streak was crucial. It didn't just stop their free fall, it put them right back in the race, just 2.0 games out of the division lead. They showed that even wounded, they're still alive. But the question remains, is this recovery sustainable? With the rotation in shambles, where will help come from? The answer may lie hidden in the minor leagues. A prospect, a giant with Herculean power, is tearing it up and could be the secret weapon the Yankees desperately need. That's our final topic, and in my opinion, the most fascinating one yet. You won't want to miss this revelation about Spencer Jones. So if this emotional roller coaster has fired you up, hit that like button to support us and subscribe, because the end of this story is unmissable. The team is at a crossroads. The defense was patched up, the pitching rotation was decimated, and the on-field performance has been a roller coaster ride. Amid all this chaos, where can hope come from? Where might an unexpected hero emerge? The answer, my friends, might be hidden in the team's farm system. A prospect who's not just good, he's a phenomenon, a giant with absurd power. His name is Spencer Jones, and you need to pay attention to this guy. Spencer Jones isn't your average prospect. He's the Yankees' 2022 first-round pick, a 24-year-old outfielder with a body seemingly built to crush home runs. And in 2025, he decided to stop playing around. He started the season in Double-A and absolutely destroyed the league, hitting 16 home runs in just 49 games. Management had no choice but to promote him to Triple-A, the last step before glory. And what did he do there? He got even better. In his first 11 games at the new level, he batted an absurd .386, hit 5 more home runs, and posted an incredible 1.258 OPS. His numbers are straight out of a video game. His power is so elite, he's leading almost every prospect in the minors in total offensive value. But every hero has a weakness. And Spencer Jones has a big one. He has an absurd strikeout rate. That number is still considered far too high and represents the biggest obstacle between him and MLB stardom. It creates the perfect dilemma. He's a high-risk gamble, but with a potentially huge payoff. He could be the next Aaron Judge, or he might not be able to handle major league pitching, but there's a glimmer of hope, a detail that might change everything. He's dramatically improved his patience at the plate. His walk rate has skyrocketed, showing he's learning to recognize pitches and control the strike zone. It's a sign of maturity that could unlock all his potential. And that brings us to the final question, the decision that might define the Yankees' season. With the team desperately needing a spark, should they take the risk? Should they call up Spencer Jones and unleash this force of nature in the midst of a title chase? It's the most fascinating gamble of the season. The potential to transform the game versus the risk of rushing a talent before he's ready. So there you have it. The $22 million release of LeMahieu, the devastating injury to Schmidt, the heroic recovery on the field, and the rise of a possible savior. The New York Yankees stand at a crossroads, and the next few weeks will be decisive. What do you think they should do? Call up Spencer Jones or not? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what Yankee Nation thinks. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and made it this far, you're a true sports fan. The last thing I ask is, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The story of the 2025 season is far from over, and we'll cover every twist and turn. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.